Welcome back to the Armchair Meddler, where I review news videos of a sensational nature, and I give you my opinion, even though you asked for my opinion. That's what makes me the Armchair Meddler. So today we're going to take a look at a pursuit that happened in the city of Los Angeles. Apparently, the LAPD was pursuing a shooting suspect. So let's not delay. Let's see what happens in this video.
These sharp turns, and this is a very residential neighborhood. We're in the Hyde Park area, like you said, and we've been staying there, even though this vehicle moving very, very quickly. Some hard turns, but LAPD, that helicopter, that's going to be overhead. If the ground units are re-engaged in this pursuit, they're not here yet, but because of that crazy driving and those recent fatalities during these pursuits, LAPD being very careful, but this suspect driving very recklessly this afternoon.
Really erratic driving, Stu, as you see him maneuvering through these residential streets at a high level, as you mentioned, a high rate of speed, and then going onto oncoming traffic in the wrong lanes, going back and forth, blowing through stop signs you see right there. So a very scary situation for the residents who may be coming out and not knowing, obviously,
Okay, so I just want to say that is very scary, very dangerous. That he's driving that fast through a residential neighborhood. I think kids maybe are in school at this time, but still, this could be dangerous. You know, you could have pedestrians. It's a residential neighborhood. I think speed limit in a residential neighborhood is about 20, maybe 25 miles per hour, and this guy's going way over that, so very dangerous.
Pursuit is going on, and some erratic drivers speeding through their residential neighborhood.
Right now, we're going to be in the Hyde Park area. We just made a turn onto, I believe this is going to be Market Street, and you can see he's making his way out to a major.
Oh, shoot.
And this is a stop sign.
Oh, that was close.
That's going to be, I think that was Centinela. That was Centinela. We just made Inglewood. We're in the city of Inglewood right now. That's right. And, you know, but this vehicle continuing on, driving a little slower, made his way by a school right there. And you're right. Whenever they're in these residential neighborhoods, these tighter roads, this is one of the spots where, like, a lot of suspects look for a place to jump out and hide. But when they drive so recklessly, so fast through those neighborhoods, you can't help but cringe every moment.
Okay, so that looks like a... Let me move this up a little bit.
A lot of folks out there not expecting somebody to be doing 9.
Okay, so that looks like a four-door sedan. It's silver in color, but I can't tell exactly what kind of car that is.
90 miles an hour. Oh, that would have been an ugly one right there with that bus. 90 miles an hour through a residential neighborhood, making his way through here, again, cutting off a bunch of...
Man, so this guy runs the red light. Just imagine you're a driver. You have the green light. You're driving along. You know, you think everything is fine. And then someone like this guy just blows through the red light. I mean, your life could be changed in an incident because of this guy running from the police. You could be seriously injured or even killed. This is just, wow. Very dangerous.
Other traffic, a lot of these folks, again, that was a solid red light. At least he wasn't flying through that intersection. Sky Fox, we're doing what we can to stay with it. But right now in the Inglewood area, making his way over to the LAX area, this is very difficult. As for Sky Fox, LAPD, they might get a little bit more of a pass for chasing an armed suspect. But right now you can see he's getting farther and farther away from us, making his way southbound. And now on Eucalyptus, making another turn there. LAPD still in pursuit. I'm so glad to see one of those vehicles at least.
So yeah, so I just want to say that this is someone that they need to catch. Okay, this is someone who shot at someone. This person is armed and dangerous. So this is a situation where you don't call off the chase because this person allegedly is already shot at someone, or I don't know if it's more than one person. So yeah, they are definitely a danger to the public. Not just about them having shot at someone, but also their driving. This is just tremendously dangerous. So yeah, they definitely need to take this person in.
Keeping up with it, and of course the helicopter, they're going to stay with it as well. We're going to stay with it as long as we can, but this is a shooting suspect. We heard it might be related to something we were listening to earlier on this morning, a shots fired call in the downtown area, but right now this vehicle moving very, very quickly in the Inglewood area, LAPD behind it, but at a distance because of these high speeds.
Absolutely, Stu. And you mentioned earlier, this was very interesting because this shooting suspect evidently was in a car, got out and bailed that first vehicle, got into another car, basically carjacking someone else at around 52nd and La Brea, and then abandoned one car, got into another. And then we saw live here as we came to this scene that.
Okay, so now they're claiming that this suspect is also a carjacker. So apparently shot at someone, allegedly, carjacking. Yeah, this is definitely someone they need to get off the road. So far, they've shown blatant disregard for all life in the way that they're driving, too. They really need to catch this person.
That car driver got out of that car, and now the shooting suspect took off in this silver vehicle.
Almond Breeze Extra Creamy Almond Milk tastes creamy like dairy milk with 50% more calcium.
Sure. So a couple of people are talking to me. I'm just trying to keep this shot right now. It is behind that railroad right there, and I don't want to lose it. It looks like we are continuing on to Florence. I want to see if he pops out right over. Almost lost him. Tricky little guy. I'm going to try to put the map up. You guys got to understand, right now I am, end of lens and trying to keep this shot going here. Going to drop some of that information. You guys don't need to see that. But there you go. You can get an idea where this is right now. And again, I'm having trouble keeping an eye on it because he's well into the LAX area. This shot probably about, you probably can't even see it out the window with your naked eye. But right now we're keeping this shot the best we can.
Okay, so you see there that one police cruiser right now is behind them. I don't know if there are additional units behind that police cruiser. But right now, because of all this traffic, there's no way they can do a pit maneuver on this guy. It's just too dangerous.
Can LAPD in pursuit. You know what? That actually might be Inglewood. Nope, that's LAPD. Solid red. Solid red right there. Close. And this is what we don't want to see. We don't want to see any more fatalities at the end of a pursuit. We don't want to even see somebody get hurt at the end of a pursuit. But this suspect, definitely a shooting suspect, and they want to bring this.
So the way this guy is driving, I believe this pursuit is going to end in a wreck. I mean, this guy's going to wreck out because his driving is just so incredibly reckless.
To an end. Just make conversation real quick. There's a little bit of a filler. We don't know if this was a carjacking. I don't think this was a carjacking. The way it was described was it almost seemed like somebody was waiting for him and he got into that car. Moving farther and farther away from us right now. You can see it. He's on Manchester, moving very, very quickly. And again, this is hopefully he makes a turn and comes up to the north.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh my goodness. We made our way through another major intersection right there, now on the wrong side of the road, and is continuing on oh my gosh, on Manchester, making a turn now onto.
Okay, so by the way this guy is driving, he doesn't care anything about the public around him. He doesn't care about his own life because this guy, the way he's driving, he could easily take somebody's life or even, of course, take his own. So this guy does not care about anyone. This pursuit has to end. If LAPD has a chance, they need to end this pursuit because this guy is just such a danger and a menace to the public.
Tuxton, very, very busy out there. This is a area where you can see a lot of shopping, a lot of industrial. Just don't want to see anybody get hurt.
You're doing an amazing job staying with this suspect, Stu, as he drives erratically, and we understand there's so many restrictions around LAX area because of the airspace, and obviously you have to take precautions in terms of where you're able to fly. I see he just turned on Sepulveda right now, and clearly this is a very concerning situation because of the fact this driver is driving erratically right there, going into traffic, basically oncoming cars, blowing through stop signs and stop lights right here. Ooh, so many close calls we've been seeing, but so far, thankfully, no collisions at this point. But as you mentioned, an interesting situation with a shooting suspect, then having another vehicle waiting for him and basically switching vehicles, ditching his friend or whoever the driver was, and now pursuing this in a silver vehicle as we've been following. But clearly, yes, it is a very tricky situation. You see a black and white right there going on its tail, but for a lot of these police officers, law enforcement, in the last couple of weeks, dealing with pursuits like this, and tragically, innocent lives are lost. So they have to really make that decision on whether or not to keep pursuing a suspect in these cases or whether to back off.
Well, this one, it's never a no-brainer. That is, just to think that is naive in its own self. This is a shooting suspect. That we clearly heard that in the beginning. So this is somebody that was armed at one time, shooting at somebody. I don't know if that person was actually injured or shot, or there were just shots fired. But nevertheless, this is the type of person they want to keep off of the roads and in behind bars. And maybe that person can get the help that they need. Through in a big parking lot out here is another one of those spots you just don't.
Okay, that's just crazy the way they blew through that parking lot like that. Just imagine somebody's walking through their car and he mows them down. I mean, that's a possibility. He narrowly missed, I believe that's like a black car that was driving through. But yeah, this is just crazy.
Expect somebody to come tearing through at those high speeds. Some pedestrians out there as well, making another, looks like a major block here. But that one LAPD officer, I mean, my goodness, to stay with this guy so well, that person clearly did well in the driving classes and definitely gets the gold star of the day. But this vehicle right here now ripping through the center divider, I would,
oh my gosh.
Could you just imagine being in that car and having that guy tearing down the center divider right at you? Making that turn now, it looks like we're back onto Manchester, and but again, the speeds never slowing down. This car continuing to move at these extremely high speeds, and again, the person behind the wheel, a suspect wanted with in relation to a shooting, a little hard turn right there. That seems to be, I would almost venture to say that might be a Chevy Impala. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is that, it's not the newest car, not saying anything bad about it, but driving at 100 miles an hour, hard on the brakes, hard turns, and through another solid red light right there.
Okay, I want to say that if that is a Chevy Impala and the older vehicle, that is a really good car. This thing is holding up through this pursuit. So, yeah, apparently that's a well-built car.
You're wondering how long that car can continue to make those be driven like that on the streets. Of course, LAPD behind it the best they can. It looks like he's making a turn. I got to stay a little bit wide. There he is, making a turn there on Adams and Aviation. Sorry, on Aviation. So he's kind of making his way back towards the airport. But right now, we're going to keep the shot as best we can. And of course, very dangerous. Hopefully, if you know anybody that might be out here on the roadway, I wouldn't text them, but try to get some information to them. Just tell them there is a crazy pursuit going on right now. This vehicle moving at extremely high speeds, and it basically has run every intersection, red light, another solid red, just every intersection that they have come up against this morning.
Absolutely terrifying for drivers out there, for people going about their day, for people transported on those buses that you see where he's driving very dangerously near right there. And it looks like he kind of made a circle around that area, obviously driving along Manchester Boulevard, now turned to Aviation, as you mentioned, and then kind of making a circle around the Inglewood, LAX area. So it's obviously anyone's guess as to where this person is going.
No. Okay, so that was close. You got a guy walking through the crosswalk right there. That was a very close call. Because when you're walking through a crosswalk, a lot of times, you don't expect something like this. But, man, that's, like I said, this guy does not care about the public. He does, I guess he'll take somebody out in a second. He seems to have just complete disregard for anybody's life.
Avoiding that collision. Again, we've seen so many close calls, Stu.
So many close calls, and this person seems to be making their way over to LAX. Now we're on Century Boulevard. It's going to be very difficult for us to keep an eye on it. LAPD, they are down there. You see them actually getting closer and closer as he's making his way over to LAX. I'm going to try to get ahead of it, and if anybody sees it, like doesn't realize that I might not be seeing it, please shout it out. I believe that's it right there. So never mind. Making his way, it looks like we're.
You know what? If he was to go onto the property of LAX to the airport, I believe at that point, if I'm not mistaken, I think it becomes a federal crime. So yeah, if he was to go onto that airport property, he would be looking at many years in prison on top of what he would get for this alleged shooting and running from the police. Let's continue.
Going to be going into LAX. This, you'd think that, oh, you know what, this is how I'm going to get away. Not really the best of moves. There you go. Make that U-turn. Let's get out of the LAX area. So now making his way
he's got
back
at
the
least
other direction, still on Century Boulevard.
So if he saw there, he's got at least, I don't know, that looked like 6 cruisers behind him, LAPD cruisers. So I don't think that this guy's going to get away. It's broad daylight. He's got a lot of police behind him. I have, it's rare, but I have seen other pursuit suspects get away, but usually it's at night. It's a rare thing, but usually it's at night. And sometimes the police, they'll call off the chase because it gets too dangerous. But this one, they're not calling off because this is a shooting suspect. They also said he might be a carjacking suspect, possibly. But yeah, they're not going to let this guy go. I doubt he's going to get away. He's probably going to wreck out and get caught.
But again, the LAPD right there behind him, the helicopter, just so everybody kind of gets the idea here. Even the LAPD helicopter not allowed in there right now. So it's not just the media that can't follow. It is everybody involved, keeping an eye out, seeing where he comes out. But hopefully we didn't lose him behind the buildings. Oh, no, there he is. And he's driving through the on the grass right there, trying to get away from the LAPD and trying to get around some of that traffic. Coming out to another major, not a major right there, and a lot of traffic. That was on Aviation. And continuing on, we're going to be going eastbound on Century, making our way towards the freeway. Freeway would be great, especially if he makes his way northbound. If he makes his way southbound, it's going to be difficult for Sky Fox to follow.
Yeah, you're seeing increased traffic right there, but obviously a desperate situation for the suspect trying to evade officers who are on its tail because of the fact he jumped the curb, drove on the sidewalk, and then came off the curb. So trying to avoid traffic and trying to obviously get caught.
He's going to be on the other side of the freeway, Jeff.
There we go. He is trying to flee the scene and obviously
he's on the other side of the freeway.
Lose the officers,
eastbound.
Pursuing him. But right there you see him on Century Boulevard, driving erratically, speeding, and obviously a real danger to motorists and other vehicles on the street. I hear you, Stu, a little frustrated.
No, I'm a little frustrated because I think we may have lost the vehicle or he involved in some sort of collision behind that Motel 6. We're going to be making the turn right here, see if we can clean it up. He was going eastbound right there, and now I'm not seeing those LAPD vehicles getting out there, and I did see some cars like stopping there for a moment or two. We're going to see if we can find out exactly what happened. The LAPD also not coming out from the other side. There he is. There.
Okay. Is that him? Nope.
Okay, he was on the 405 north or southbound?
Okay, so there you see it. As we try to find a better picture and a bit better glimpse of this suspect who is wanted for a shooting that took place.
Okay. Hang on.
Beginning in Hyde Park, we are over the scene of a pursuit right now. This is kind of in the LAX Inglewood area. Stu and Sky Fox and crew looking for that suspect, LAPD in pursuit. And this was interesting because it looked like he had a vehicle waiting for him. And then, is that it right there?
Yeah, so he did wreck out.
You see a lot of movement from LAPD patrol cars down on the scene right there. That looks like
there we go.
Manchester Boulevard on the 405, Stu.
Oh, he's running.
There you go.
He's running.
Yes, Manchester on the 405. You got an officer right there running, a couple of officers running. Some people were saying he was still on the freeway. Look, he looks like,
oh, shoot.
Oh, he's trying to take over a pickup truck right there, out there in LAPD.
Okay, so he tried to take that pickup truck, I guess carjack it, and he could have easily have been hit by that truck. Wow.
Nice tackle. Taking that, helping that suspect make the decision to go into custody right there after he tried to take over looked like a lawn truck or a maintenance vehicle right there. Got into that back real quick. Sorry about that we lost it there behind the buildings, but We do what we can do, but in the end, we did get that suspect going into custody. LAPD going in for the tackle, taking that guy down. This officer that was right there, they were driving with the doors open for a moment. So I kind of had a feeling they knew where they were going. I didn't see that suspect till the last minute, but right there, you've got that suspect in custody right now. Now, this was a very dangerous person. This was apparently a person that was shooting a weapon or had shot earlier on. Not sure if he just got stuck, but there is the suspect vehicle, and that shows you.
Yeah, so I can't tell if he tried to go off road or he lost control, because you can see right in front of that police car that's up in the corner, you can see where he goes across the path that he goes onto the grass, and then I don't know if he crashes into a tree or what. Yeah, maybe he tried to cut across there intentionally, or maybe he lost control and he crashed. Can't really tell.
Right there, if that car wasn't carjacked, and don't let your friends borrow your car. Anyways, this coming to an end out here on the northbound 405 near Manchester.
Okay, so don't let your friends borrow your car. So it's like, just tell your friends, yeah, you can't borrow my car because you might be involved in a high-speed pursuit. So I don't know. No one, according to this newscaster, no one should ever let anyone borrow their car ever again. No friends, no family members, I guess, can borrow cars ever again.
All right, Stu, thank you so much for your coverage, for staying on top of that. A high-speed pursuit of a shooting suspect is finally concluded. Right there, you see LAPD officers taking that suspect into custody.
Okay, so that was pretty intense. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that video. Thankfully, it looks like everybody came out of this okay. Hopefully, you'll give this video the thumbs up. Also, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Once again, I am the Armchair Meddler. Hope to see you on the next video. Peace.